Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tokoloha and today I'm going to do a little first trimester recap. Okay. First trimester for me was interesting, but quite uneventful as well at the same time. Because when you're pregnant and you're in the first trimester, you can't really tell a lot of people, but at the same time you don't show, and there's not a lot of changes. So it's a very nervous stage. You don't want to tell too many people because you don't know what's going to happen. And I found that it was a trimester that was filled with a lot of fear, if you know what I mean, because you're not sure if everything's going to be all right. If you get me. A little recap. I found out I was pregnant. We got the blood test. It finally got confirmed. I finally got excited. And it was Christmas Day. I was with my family and I was all excited, jumping all around, telling everybody in my family because I'm a big mouth and I just couldn't keep a secret from them. However, as the day went by and I went to the bathroom, I found out I was bleeding. I called my mom. My mother got there and I'm like, I think I'm having a miscarriage. And she also checked. She's like, no, yes, you're having some bleeding, but I don't think it's enough blood. I don't think you're having a miscarriage. Let's just relax, go to the doctor and find out exactly what's happening with you. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I excuse myself from my family. I'm like, no, I'm going to my husband's family now. I just need to show face. And then I get into the car, drive off. Of course, I told my husband while I was in the bathroom as well, send him a message. And I was like to him, I'm going to just go to the hospital. Then he calls me while I'm busy driving. He's like, you better come pick me up first. And I'm like, if I'm having a miscarriage, there's nothing you can do. He's like, listen, I don't care. Pick me up. You can't go alone. So I get to his place. His mother is a nurse and she asks, like, what's going on? How are you feeling? Why are you driving? It might not be safe for you, especially if you're bleeding. It might be too dangerous for you to be moving around so much. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I figured, it's not a major thing. I'm not in pain. I don't have any cramps. Because that's the thing. I felt nothing else. I felt good. It's just, I was bleeding. I don't understand why I was bleeding. So, not a problem. Picked them up and then we went to the hospital, the nearest hospital there. Went to casualty, told them the same thing. They checked my blood pressure, they admitted me in, and unfortunately they don't have a sauna machine at that specific hospital. So they're like, okay, we're gonna order some blood tests and see what's happening, see if your HCG levels are still going up, because that's the only thing we can do. But if you're having a miscarriage, they'll be going down. And the doctor, of course, he told me how common miscarriages are in the first trimester, and it happens, and I could just be losing the child. So he just wants to check if there's still a baby, if my pregnancy is still viable. No problem. They take my blood work. I'm lying down there, and they put me on a bed, and I'm lying on the bed, and I'm waiting for my results to come back, and it's just I'm not really doing this story justice. It didn't happen as quickly as I'm trying to make it sound now. The drive to pick up my husband wasn't a fast one. I cried. I had a moment where I just didn't know how to feel. I don't know how to react to what was happening to me. As much as I accepted it on an intellectual level that I might be losing this child, on an emotional level, I was just overwhelmed. I didn't know if I had a right to pray, to ask God to help me. Because what if this is God's plan? And I remember thinking that as I was driving to pick up my husband. Well, if this is what God wants, there's nothing. Who am I? There's nothing I can do. What right do I have to tell him no? It was a very confusing time for me getting to that hospital, and I eventually got there and I get to the doctor and I'm like telling him everything I'm going through, my symptoms, and he tells me there's nothing he can do, but all they can do is just check if it's if I'm still pregnant, that moment just really honestly broke my heart. Because you expect a doctor to be the person who will tell you, who will guide you, who will give you, facts, who will let you know why your body is doing what it's doing. And in that moment, this doctor basically told me, there's nothing. We can't tell you nothing. We don't know why it's happening. There's nothing we can do. It's too early, and if it's happening, it's happening. It can't be stopped. So imagine feeling that and then having to wait to get your results back to find out if you're still pregnant, alone, because my husband wasn't with me in casualty, and at the same time, I don't want to burden him with my emotions and my feelings because I'm not quite sure what I feel yet. And like the doctor said, there's nothing we can do. So whether I cry, whether I scream, whether my heart breaks, there's nothing we can do. I sat on that bed and I took out my phone and I started writing, trying to write how I was feeling, write about the events that were happening, and try to be okay with not being okay and not cause a scene. Sorry, but I'm fine. And not cause a scene and get through it. I need to get through it. Eventually the results came back and the doctor's like, oh, it's still going up, it's still doubling. What we're going to do is we'll check it again, I think the following day or something, just to make sure that it's still increasing. They had my results for the previous time when I took the first test, so they could tell that it was doubling and it's increasing. So it's like, no, most likely you're still pregnant. You need to actually go see, to go get a sauna and just check what's happening in there, like why were you bleeding. Maybe they'll be able to see something else on the sauna machine. No problem. Gives me a referral letter because we're in a different area and I had to go to the hospital near my house, me and my husband's house, because we're still at his family's side. We pack everything, we go, we leave. I get discharged, no problem. We get home. Oh, and the doctor tells me bed rest. That's the only thing they can give me. Don't move around too much. Don't do anything too hectic. Just bed rest. Fine. So I didn't book for the sauna because I'm like, okay, wait, I'm still early. Google. You Google, and Google's like, oh, they're not going to see anything if it's too early. You need to book a little bit after 6 weeks for them to pick up a heartbeat. So according to the last test that I took, I'm like, okay, so I was about 5 weeks when I took that test, which was last week. So if I book for the sauna maybe like a week after, then at least it gives a better chance of them picking up a heartbeat, because I'm like, I don't want to risk going there and then they tell me we're not sure again. I don't want to hear I'm not sure. I'm still a bit fragile, right? And the following day, the bleeding stopped. It actually stopped on that day when I was at the hospital, but there was no more bleeding. So obviously I can't do anything. My husband doesn't want me to touch anything. Don't wash dishes, don't do anything. I just, put up my feet. And then I was fine. Then comes New Year's, the 31st, and we go out to go be with our friends. We normally do this whole, like a New Year's Eve party, house party thing, chillers, bride thing. So we go there and we're chilling with them, and obviously I'm not going to tell them what happened to me because I'm like, let me not ruin the mood, and at the same time, I don't know enough to tell, and it's still a bit too early. So we're enjoying ourselves. I'm moving around a little bit, but I'm trying to make sure I don't move too much, I don't do too much. I'm not having any alcohol. Oh, that hurt my soul. But I wasn't drinking anything. Nobody's drinking around me. And because it's like so vibing, I'm normally talkative anyway, and I can hold my liquor very well. I don't get drunk very easily. Nobody can tell the difference because everybody's like, oh, we're used to you. You never ever get drunk, but you get us drunk because I like mixing the drinks and whatever. So nobody really picked up on anything except like one friend who later in the evening actually asked me like, what's happening with you? Today you're a bit different. You're not the same. You're not really drinking. Are you okay? And unfortunately, I wasn't okay because sometime in the night, I went to the bathroom again and I started bleeding. Here I am bleeding again, and I felt defeated. I really felt defeated. I'm like, what now? I'm not moving. I didn't do anything. Like, what did I do? Like, why is this happening? I really felt defeated. I'm like, I'm not going to hospital again. I'm really not going to pay for somebody to tell me that there's nothing they can do. Like, I'm just not doing that to myself again. I'm emotionally not ready for that. Not rushing on the 31st when everybody's having parties and probably there's other serious cases. I'm going to be waiting in a long queue to be told that there's nothing we can do. You might still be having a baby. We don't know. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to sit still, not move, and pray to God this stops and it's really not hurting the child at all. So I ended up telling that friend when he asked me that I'm pregnant in the early stages and I'm actually bleeding because he's starting to do medicine. So I'm like, oh, maybe he'll tell me if I must go rush to the hospital if it's an urgent thing or an emergency. He's like, no, don't worry about it. Just relax. We'll pray for you. You'll be fine. Just relax. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, cool. It's the only person I told, and I try my best to just relax and be okay. The bleeding did eventually stop and eventually went home the following day. So because of that bleed, I'm like, okay, let me just try and get an appointment for the sauna this week because we need to know what's happening. I can't bleed every time I move or I take 10 steps instead of 8. I really need to know what's going to happen next. We booked the sauna appointment, and when we get there, lovely lady, and I tell her the situation, and she also lets me know that, miscarriages are very common. They're very common. It's unfortunately, it's so common in the first trimester that a person, before they find out they're pregnant, will miscarry, bleed, and they think it's a normal period. But they were actually having a miscarriage. This is before she does by scan. So I'm like, okay. So in other words, that's code for don't have your hopes too high. So she's like, no, but let's just see what's happening with you. Let's see what's going on in there. She does the whole scan. She checks. There's no heartbeat, but there's, I don't know if you call it an embryo sac, but I do have a sac. My sac is still there. It's still intact. I've got a fibroid. She's like, oh, I see that you have a fibroid, but it's really small, nothing too serious. Your sac is there, but because you're so early, I can't see if there's anything in it. Like, I can't pick up a heartbeat. So I can't tell you if you're still pregnant or not because the sac can be empty. Let me just like, sorry. She's like, it can be empty, but everything looks fine. It could be empty. In that moment, I'm like to myself, wow, how mean can my body be? Why would everything still be intact and it's empty? Why would my body do that to me? Why would it betray me like that? I'm like, okay, no problem. Let me just calm down. Let me be okay. I'm like, oh, no problem. Thank you so much. It's like, oh, do you want a picture? I'm like, no, it's fine. We don't need one. And she's like, okay, cool, but wait a little bit and then book with the gynae, and then the gynae maybe will be able to tell you guys what exactly is happening. And we left that appointment and was just stuck in limbo. Just stuck in an emotional limbo. And it was just like, okay, let's just carry on with our lives, This won't be the death of us. It will hurt, but it won't be the death of us. And I couldn't say I'm having a child because I wasn't sure if I still was. I wasn't sure if it was meant to be. We waited about 2 weeks just to make sure that we're now in the 8th week. Then we booked with the gynae. And when we got to the gynae's appointment, told him the same thing. And he's like, you know what? There isn't a real I can't see a real cause for you to bleed, but let's just let's check on the sauna and see how your baby's doing. I'm like, okay, cool. Get on the bed, go through the process again, and puts the sauna machine there, and I hold my breath as he just checks, and then I don't know if he put the volume up or what, but all of a sudden the sound just came in the room, and I just heard my baby's heartbeat. And because this is our first time having a child, obviously nobody took a video. So just imagine it, visually imagine going through everything we just went through. And then you finally hear this heartbeat. Ah, God. It just lit up my soul. Like it lit up my soul. Like, you don't understand. I was so happy. It was the first time I could breathe. Like, I took a deep breath, and it's like, no, your baby's fine. Everything looks fine. It's like, you know what? Honestly, there is nothing that I can see here that is anything. There's nothing I can see. It's like, okay, you know what? We'll just keep monitoring you. We'll keep checking. We'll keep seeing if there's anything that we need to be aware of as time goes. But right now, you're just a bit too early for me to give you a proper estimation of your due date, but everything looks fine. You look about 8-9 weeks. Everything looks fine. And then we went on to discuss my high blood pressure and I think my cholesterol. For the high blood pressure, he took my high blood pressure when I was there. I told him of the pills that I was on, and he's like, you know what, I'm not that concerned about your blood pressure because it's actually perfect right now. And the pills that you're on, the dose is actually very small, so I'm not quite sure why your previous doctor said you might have a problem with it, but we'll keep monitoring it, keep drinking those pills, it's fine. And I was also very concerned about my weight, because I'm like, my weight is very high. Should I be restricting, not eating? Sorry. And he's like, no. It's like, don't do any of those things right now. Let's just see how the pregnancy progresses. Don't stress yourself. We'll figure it out as it goes. It's okay. Just relax. So that was the big, of first trimester for me. From there on, basically my symptoms were normal. I barely have any nausea. I rarely ever have headaches. I had it one I would make sure I drink enough water. I'm barely ever hungry. I wouldn't eat much. The one big thing that actually happened is I couldn't stand meat. Like, I couldn't eat meat. I couldn't taste meat. It just felt like cardboard. I just couldn't. I ended up making sure that I have a smoothie with spinach, yogurt in it, just to make sure that I'm still getting some of the nutrients that I need. But I just avoided meat. I just didn't eat any meat because I couldn't stand meat. I couldn't even cook it. Of course, I was extremely tired. Would be having a conversation with my husband 1 second and I'm out the next. Seriously, my bedtime was just 6-7. Get there, knocked out. On the couch, knocked out. I slept a lot. And then, what else? What else did happen to me in the first trimester? That's about it, guys. That's about it. Nothing hectic after that. Nothing more dramatic than that, actually. It's been great. Rather than, I almost forgot. The one night I had this sharp pain in my leg. I prayed. I immediately prayed that away. I was like, listen, I'm grateful to be pregnant, but that pain has got to go. It's got to go. And amazingly enough, immediately after I was done praying, the pain disappeared. It disappeared and I was able to sleep and be comfortable. So it never really happened again. So it wasn't anything that really concerned me too much. That was my first trimester experience. I didn't show, so it was quite easy to kind of keep it away from people. As much as I'm a big girl, my stomach is not really big. So you know what I mean. I'll show you pictures if I can insert anything here. So it wasn't showing. It wasn't that different. I didn't get bloated that much because of the smoothie that I was having, and it was helping keep me regular and everything. So I didn't have much bloat, so I wasn't that concerned. I could actually keep a secret very easily. And yeah, so we're still on this journey, and now I'm in my second trimester. I'm currently 21 weeks pregnant, and I'm loving it. I feel so blessed to actually be having this child. Really, I am. I don't know. It's really just a miracle. I don't know how. I don't know when. I didn't even think I could. And I feel grateful. And I feel like the cutest person in the whole entire world. That's another, I don't know if it's a symptom, but I literally would tell myself the whole day, that the whole time, my whole first trimester, that you are the cutest pregnant person I've ever seen. And I still do that now, but it feels good. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll share more. Thank you. Bye.